This is episode 2 of Cut Therapy with, say your name?
Marco.
Marco. Yeah, man. We were just talking about how humans commit mental and spiritual suicide. And then we started talking about anime.
Oh yeah, you know, the Band-Aid to all souls.
The Band-Aid to all souls?
Yo yeah.
Are you talking about anime?
Yo yeah. You can't go wrong. There's so many different kinds out there. That's why I was asking you so many
Questions?
Yeah, because I'm trying to figure out what your type is, and it just sounds like you like to see people hit each other, and there is nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of
Yeah, I guess you could say that. I like something that kind of has like a hero type of feel to it,
oh yeah.
or like a mission type of feel to it. Yeah, and so I cling to some, like, I guess, like, not even just like anime, but just like shows that like rile up inspiration, or like I guess like the progression. Like I like to see a lot of character development,
Yeah.
and so like not even in just like anime, but just like anything in general, stuff that like does that and does it well, I tend to cling to.
Yeah, I agree. I can resonate with that. I
Yeah.
think that's a good story.
Yeah.
Yeah, going back to what I was saying earlier. You know, there's a couple anime that I can recommend that kind of gives me that feeling. I think Black Clover does that really well. I think, believe it or not, you're gonna hate me, One Piece. That does that really well.
I haven't watched it, so I can't hate you.
But it's intimidating.
But One Piece?
Yeah, there's over 1,000 episodes.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But how many episodes does Naruto have?
Well, I think that kind of reaches, if you add that and the Shippuden, I guess it would maybe get around there, but a lot of it is filler.
Yeah, absolutely.
As opposed to One Piece, I think only under like 10% of it is filler.
Okay, so there's a difference between Naruto and Naruto Shippuden?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
The difference would be a 2-year time skip.
I don't know which one I watched. LOL.
Was he a kid?
Yes, he was.
Well, then that's the first one, yeah.
Okay.
The only difference is a 2-year time skip.
And so what? That 2 years, he's an adult now?
Teenager, 16.
Okay.
Or is it 15? One or the other.
Okay, yeah.
I think he ends off this series a year older. The whole series, though, is a year.
I can't say something I didn't like about Naruto was that, like...
Naruto has a lot of flaws.
I don't know. For me personally, like, it just felt like, I don't know. They just kept using the same move. They don't really like. I feel like they evolve as fighters, but it's more of like a mental thing than it is like a physical thing. Mm-hmm. I don't know. For me, like Naruto, he has one special that's what he uses, and like they all have their what is it called? They have their not chi. They have their
chakra. Is that what you look for?
Whatever it's called, yeah.
Their moves.
Yeah, whatever their move is called. Like he has his whatever move where he gets into multiple different people or multiple different versions of himself.
Well, how far you got?
I watched the whole thing when he started to get like a second move, but I'm just like, okay, move 2, cool. I don't know. That was just something I realized.
I'm hearing you.
But then again, like I said, I was watching it to go to sleep, so I didn't even really like fully sit down and soak in everything that Naruto had to offer. I'm sure that there was a lot more that I didn't really acknowledge because I was just kind of watching it to go to sleep.
Right, for sure.
But
Naruto isn't a bad series at all. I mean, like, it has flaws. Like, what show doesn't have flaws, of course.
Yeah.
But
it's just like mankind.
No, but I definitely hear what you're saying. Like, he was using the same shadow clone moves.
Jitsu,
like,
that's what it's called.
Yeah, the Jitsus.
Yeah, bruh.
Same shadow clone moves. Over and over again for the beginning part, which I get.
I got sick of it. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think the anime as a whole is good. There's a lot of good messages, but like, I was like, man, like, can you learn like a new move? But I guess that's what the show is about. Like, they have their own special jutsu and
Yeah, working hard, you know.
they're working hard and getting better and getting that jutsu stronger.
Yeah, the Shippuden will probably get you,
More.
yeah, because it really like pays off.
So what are
A
you?
lot of the
Are
like.
you Naruto over Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball over Naruto?
Oh man, that's a question I've been asked. It's always the One Piece one. Well, only due to preference, I'm gonna go watch Dragon Ball before I watch Naruto.
Okay.
But I watch Naruto so often. Like I watch it every year. Like both.
Oh, so you just like rewatch them?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay, that's not. I do the same thing. I think people think I'm crazy for it. At least that I've observed. Cause like, I don't know. Like, there's certain stuff that just doesn't get old to me, and I can literally just like continue to rewatch it and then like view it from a different perspective.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I get different experiences every time
Every
I
time.
watch it. You know, and it's still not my favorite, but like it resonates with me and like it's also like nostalgic.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. My sister, she calls it. I forget what she called it, but I was at like I lived with my sister for like 6 months, and I was at her crib like watching like Phineas and Ferb or stuff that like I used to watch when I was a kid, like Zack and Cody and stuff like that. And she calls it like that's your comfort show. I'm like, what do you mean? And she was like it's just it gives you comfort. Like you feel like okay when you're watching that.
Yeah.
And you can kind of like speak and just kind of do what you want while that show plays, even if you're not watching it. But yeah, I guess so. She's like, yeah, it's comfort. Like,
That's how, yeah, I get like that with sitcoms.
yeah.
Like, they gotta be like comedic sitcoms, like, I guess How I Met Your Mother, Friends, that kind of deal. Love those.
You're a sitcom kind of guy?
Oh, yeah.
I can see you being that, though.
Of
You have a
course.
very, like, I feel like you have different types of humor. You have, like, dry and then, like, dark.
Oh, the spectrum is wide.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I can see that.
What's funny is funny. And I might even offend some people, which is why I try not to smile all the time. But boy, do I get caught off guard.
I mean, what is life if you don't offend some people?
Absolutely. Exactly? People are too serious. Calm down. We're all living the same life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Laugh a little. Laugh at yourself. You're not that cool.
Mm.
You know.
Laugh at yourself. You're not that cool. So how do you feel about people that just take like life like anally serious?
Oh, I hate those people. Those people I try to piss off. That's hilarious to me. Those people I try to piss off because, you know, if I piss them off and they realize how easy to get pissed off, maybe they'll be like, you know what? Maybe I am too serious. You know? At that point, I've helped somebody. He can laugh
At that point, I've
himself,
helped somebody.
You know, and I can move on. So, I actively try to piss those people off. I hate serious people. Life isn't always so serious. I mean, like, there's serious moments.
Okay, I was just
You
gonna
know?
ask that.
There are serious moments. There's time and place for everything. That includes being serious.
Yeah.
You know?
That also includes being lighthearted and having a good laugh.
Absolutely, because life gets lighthearted. Life gets funny. You know? You got to experience all of it.
Yeah.
If you just experience one part of life, it's not life.
Oof. That's a quote.
Ain't that ass? It's not life.
That's not life.
It's not life. Being shackled to one part, one aspect, that's not life.
Do you think that some people are here to literally just like invoke one aspect of life? Or do you think that all people are here to experience different aspects of it?
Well, I think there are. It's almost like akin to, I guess. You know, it's like rather like what you're like more, what you feel, what you resonate more with. You know, there's like people who like have like favorite aspects of life. Like people enjoy being joyous, so that's just where they're gonna be the most often. It just makes sense that way, you know.
Yeah.
People are gonna do what they like more. So I mean, like, and people are gonna do what they're good at.
Yeah.
So when it comes to that, it's like I do think there are people who comes on this earth and excel in one aspect more than others, you
Mm.
know, and I don't think that they're meant for it though.
You don't think that
You
they're
know,
meant for it?
I don't think they're meant for it, but I think there's people who like make it their purpose because I feel like purpose isn't something that's like because like I think purpose isn't something that's given to you; it's something that you grow into. Because if that's not the case, then what is potential? You know?
I hear that. Can you elaborate more?
Because like okay, if I think of like potential as like a ball of infinite energy, a brand like it's how can I say it's like okay. So like potential to do, I feel like potential, like true potential, like we all have. I feel like it's like a base,
Mm.
like a new, like a video game, right?
Hmm.
You go ahead, you make an RPG, you get a new character. Okay, say you have this character, you beat the game, and when you beat games, certain games allow you to reset your same character, or rather reallocate all the stats, that you have put into the character. So like, as you're beating the game, you put one in attack, one in defense, speed, that
Okay.
kind of
I
stuff,
hear you.
right? So at the end of the game, you eventually have probably hundreds of stats allocated, spread out across a board that you yourself pick. I think, and at the end of the game, of course, you you can take all those stats, take them all off. Say it adds up to like 640, right?
Yeah.
So the potential was like 640. So like now it's not belonging to any one stat, any two stats. You took them all off. You can reallocate them. I think the point of what I'm trying to say is that when one has potential, it's not potential for one thing, but it's potential for anything.
Anything. Okay, so can I give you a different perspective
Right,
to kind of challenge that?
right,
So like a tree.
hmm
A tree is here to be a tree.
right.
And like a tree doesn't meet maximum, I guess, like purpose until it's like fully grown and like drops seeds and or acorns or whatever it is and plants other seeds, which is like other trees. And like that tree is here to be a tree. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
nothing more, nothing less. But like sometimes trees get cut down and they never met their maximum potential.
Who's to say that being the tree? Who's to say that being the tree is their potential? You know?
I mean, what else can a tree do?
Well, I think what the tree is what it is.
Okay.
I don't think the tree being a tree is potential. I think that's just a state of being. And I think that the fact that it is a tree gives it potential to be lots of different things because we use so many parts of the
Mm.
tree. Like the tree can do so much for us. It's paper, it's wood, it's homes for animals. Maybe its purpose was to be chopped down. Maybe its purpose was to be used as a pencil that somebody could use
Wow.
to write down their math and figure out the physics that we learn today.
Yeah.
You know, I agree that we could have done it in different ways. That's a whole different conversation in itself. But I don't think a tree's potential is to just be
Be
a
a tree.
tree.
Heard.
I think being a tree is just a state of being. That's what it is at that moment.
But it can turn into something else.
Absolutely,
Okay.
because like that tree could be
Mm.
there to give us oxygen. It could be a swing, somebody's entertainment. It could
The
be,
possibilities are limitless.
yeah, it could
Okay.
be the base of somebody's house. You
Wow,
know,
wow, wow.
The potential is just endless.
Heard. I have nothing else to challenge that thought. That's pretty cool.
But that's how I think of people too. You know?
Yeah. I see both sides. Like I feel like God designs most people to be able to evolve. I think everybody does evolve, but I feel
Right.
like certain people are here to serve like a singular purpose, and they have to evolve within that purpose. Whereas I feel like certain people are here to evolve in any direction that they want to, and like you said, like they can grow from it and learn and reach maximum potential by finding their niche.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see both sides. I do agree that most people definitely have room to evolve more
Yeah.
and reach whatever it is, but you know, I do I do believe that some people are just here to be like a slave to certain things. And that sounds negative, but like I ain't gonna lie, like we're all programmed to be slaves. Not by the government, not by what's it called, but like we're all programmed to serve at the end of the day. Like and it's part of our mission to serve humanity in any way that we can. And I feel like certain people are just a slave to like, oh nah man, I'm just here to be a joyous person. Like I have to be happy and I have to show people what happiness is because that's what God designed me to be. Anytime I act outside of this design or try to grow in a different area outside of this design, I fall short, I fail, anxiety creeps into my life, depression creeps into my life, sadness creeps into my life, and anytime I'm acting in this area, I flourish. You know what I'm saying? Whereas some people they can like you say like kind of split and like they can flourish in any department. They can as long as they actually exercise and execute the systems that are designed for whatever stream of life that they're trying to pour their water into.
You know, and I agree with that completely. That you said it like that, I agree. I definitely agree with that. I think I do believe that a person who, I think it's at that point it's all perspective. A person who really sees himself as somebody who spreads joy and is meant to spread joy wouldn't need to,
Explore.
they wouldn't even feel that need, especially if they're flourishing in it. They'd probably be, those kind of people would be filling their mind with how can I make the next person happy. They'd be filled with stuff like that. If they're already in their niche. That's why I'm like, that kind of stuff isn't like given, it's found and that's grown into. Because it sounds like that's somebody that's already in the process of growing into it and they're growing pretty well. If you ask me, I agree with that.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. And I love that. I think you're right about that. Some people in this world are grown, but I think that's everybody. I think we can kind of not like challenge each other, but challenge each other on like this, but either like connected to our thoughts,
Yeah.
Because I do believe as everybody has the potential to do anything that they want.
Absolutely.
Not everybody will.
Should.
Yeah, exactly. Should do everything that they want.
Absolutely.
Not everything is needed to be done. It's just like I think that it goes back to what I was saying earlier about free will. I guess we have free will to learn things like discipline. I don't know.
Yeah. How do you feel about free will? Because you mentioned that a few times.
I think about that every day. What does it mean? Like,
What does free will mean?
yeah, what is free will? Like, because really, if you think about it, you could control every little aspect of your mind at any point.
Yeah, the potential is there, but should you is the question.
I try to.
To control everything within your mind.
Yeah, I try to. Just like it's.
I feel like that's just like the man in you.
Maybe, but I think that's how I interpret low-key consciousness. Consciousness is a form of control, no?
I mean,
Unless I'm thinking about it wrong. I mean, like, why am I conscious of myself isn't if not to control certain parts?
so then what is your subconscious there for? Because there's two parts of consciousness. There's conscious and then there's subconscious.
When you're so focused on something, it's easy to miss stuff.
What, your subconscious?
Well, like in anything, like like when you're rereading a paper or when you're writing an essay rather, and you don't see like your written mistakes, but like like a second person will read it and see it.
See, absolutely.
I feel like the subconscious would be like the second person. I feel like that's why hindsight would be 2020. Because the subconscious is not present, or yes, it is present, but it's not the one that's actively experiencing it all in real time. That's really the conscious. It's the reviewer. It's the person that
The reviewer.
yeah, the reviewer, the person who looks over your work, the life that the second pair of eyes.
So I hear you in the form of like controlling and consciousness being there, but I don't know, man. Growing up and like I guess like getting closer to God, like you realize that certain things like you can't control everything in your life.
Hell yeah.
You absolutely cannot, and so trying to force everything under your control is like, bro. Imagine life is like a buffet, bro. You have a plate, and when you're at a buffet, most people, what do? They just glutton fools. They go ahead and they just grab everything and stuff their plate this freaking high and try to fill up their plate with as much food. And then they get towards the end of that plate and they realize, I put way too much food on my plate. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like oftentimes life is very much like that, where we try to control every little part of our life. And it's like, bro, like, right now you're subconsciously breathing, you're not thinking about it.
Right.
You subconsciously blink every day. Imagine if you had to live life and you had to remember to breathe.
Yeah,
You know how
yeah.
like
That'd be
you know what I mean? People would be dead.
So much. Oh, fools.
You know
Everywhere.
how many people would be dead?
Oh,
Like, it's so like, I've had to learn that as a man that I try to control every aspect of my life. And I feel like there are a lot of parts that we should strive to control. But there's also certain things that like I had to come to terms with and be like, man, like, I don't have any right to sit here and try to control that because I'm not God. Like, there's certain things in my life where I'm like, I shouldn't have to like, I shouldn't do that. Like, that's not my responsibility. That's something that he didn't give me. I'm just trying to take that responsibility because I'm a man and I have to. No, relax,
Right.
breathe, take a moment. And yeah, it's definitely interesting to hear like that like you move like that because I feel like a lot of people do. I feel like majority of people in the world are control freaks. I feel like a lot of people strive to have things their way.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't control everything.
Absolutely
You
not.
can't. You
I feel
can't.
like it's unhealthy to an extent. I do feel like to whom much is given, much is required. And so, what I mean by that is like, whoever has a lot of responsibility in life, or whatever purpose you're seeking in life, or whatever purpose is given to you, however you want to perceive that.
Right.
Depending on the requirements for that purpose, there's certain things that you have to control.
Absolutely.
And you have to come to terms with that. Being a father, there's certain aspects of fatherhood that you have to get under wraps.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Being a NASCAR driver, there's certain parts of this vehicle you have to control.
Yeah.
And there's also certain parts of your body and your cognitive motor vehicle abilities that you had to learn to control. Me being a barber, there's certain things that I had to learn how to control. You know what I'm saying? And so there's certain things that in certain areas, like I said, to whom much is given, much is required. And so if you're in an area of life where like you're a business owner, you're a dad, you're a teacher, you're this, you're that, yeah, you have to control a lot of stuff. You have to, you know what I'm saying? Like, but if like I said, if you're one of those guys that, man, I just want to be a dad and that's it, then just control that area of your life and you're fine.
You'll be fine. You'll work. You will live in strides. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that, man. There's certain parts that you just have to, I think.
So I'm gonna go get the hot sauce for you.
Oh.
I'm gonna pause the video. Ugh. What is up, YouTube? So sadly, we ran out of storage while filming, and it had to end here today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Mind my greasy face, mind my hair. I did not expect this. And yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you.